welcome to Mobility Day. Today we're going to be using a football, glute ball, and a foam roller, and that's all you're going to need today. We're going to be doing a bunch of movement-based stuff, so you may also want a mat to lay down, which mine appears to be MIA, so I won't have a mat today. Oh, there it is. I found it. And a mat. Ta-da. Alright, so let's go ahead and start rolling feet. We're going to do 1 minute on each foot, and then we'll do glutes, and we'll do a couple other things, and we'll get rolling. So today we're going to be focusing a lot on hip mobility, because I'm noticing that that's an issue kind of across the board for everybody. One of the values of doing these every day and recording them every day instead of having a set system is I can respond to what seems to be going on with people. And believe it or not, there's themes throughout the population and group. So I try to put value-added information in these 30-minute workouts and mobility sessions, which it seems like mobility is the most it's the most frequently used of all of the workouts is mobility. So we're going to try to make today's mobility class very, very useful for those of you spending a lot of time sitting at a desk or spending a lot of time in vehicles or traveling on planes and things like that. So today's mobility class is going to be heavily based on loosening up the front side of the hip structure and also the rear hip capsule. So there's really two stretches for that, switch feet, or two systems for that, and you'll see what I mean by that. And this is something that's affected for most modern people, myself as well as most other people that I know that do not have developed a lot of hip mobility in life. I definitely had more when I was younger and I was doing martial arts on a regular basis, but I've always had tight outer hips. That's always been something I've dealt with. So that just seems to continue to get worse as I age. The other thing is tight hip flexors. And if you're a person that has anxiety or a person that sits a lot or both, chances are you are going to have tight hip flexors to a certain degree. And of course, tight hip flexors can cause neck pain, mid-back pain, lower back pain. They can make your hips uneven. They do all kinds of awful things. All right, now we're going to switch to glutes on the wall. So we're going to press the ball between the wall and the glute. We're going to roll through there, massaging that region. Just working through those structures. Looking for any hot spots. For me personally, I often have mine up near the top. That's where I get the majority of my hot spots. It's up at the top. I know for other people, it's different. Some people have it more down by the sit bone in the rear hip capsule. That can make a big difference. So we just want to push through there, and open up that hip. Let's see what we can do with that. All right, switch sides. Rolling through that hip. We're just going to take some deep breaths and relax into this, because today's going to be a lot of trying to breathe and relax into the mobility that we're going to be doing. And when we're doing this mobility work, the mobility in question is going to be about getting into a certain range of motion and either holding that position or moving in that position. So will try to create the opportunity for you to move in the position and open up the musculature by getting the nervous system to release those muscles, because most of our mobility, if it's not fascial, it's neurological. So, and when it's fascial, it doesn't feel like your muscle stretches. You just hit a stopping point. Or it feels like a large band just under your skin that's pulling across. It doesn't feel the same as like when a muscle is being stretched. When we're stretching a muscle, what we're doing is we're getting the nervous system to release in a specific range of motion, which your muscle fibers have this kind of telescopic nature. You're convincing the nervous system to let a little more of that telescopic end out is what's happening, if that makes sense. All right, so what we're going to do now is go ahead and lay down our mat. We're going to grab our roller. We're going to do obliques. So we're going to take this and we're going to place it between our pelvis and our rib cage. This is really important whenever we're working on our hips. And we're going to stack our knees on top of one another and just roll forward, backward, across there. We're just going to open that region up. We're just breathing evenly, trying to bring our system down a notch. Because most of us are already too amped up. I was just doing a study on the reasons people don't exercise, and the majority, almost 50% of people, is because it's a lack of perceived time, and then immediately after that, for like another 30%, is lack of energy or feeling burned out. So the average person doesn't exercise because they believe they don't have time and they don't have energy or mental bandwidth to devote to it, which is interesting because exercise is mostly a neurological resource. It really requires a lot of nervous system energy. And what's interesting is that with as convenient as our lives have become, the vast majority of people seem burned out. So we live in a world where people think that energy should be an endless resource, that downtime is somehow wasted. They don't protect their sleep. They don't exercise on a frequent basis, and once a week is not a frequent basis. Doing moderate activity daily is considered like reasonable exercise. And the majority of Americans walk less than 5,000 steps a day, apparently. So it's kind of a huge deal when you think about it. So yeah, who knows? I don't know. It's crazy. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and actually we're going to lay with the roller under our lower back. We're going to tilt back, putting our shoulders on the ground. We're going to put our knees and feet together like so. We're going to rock side to side, just like this, allowing our lower back to warm up, like so. We're just going to let that open up. And this is to massage the thoracolumbar fascia. That's all. set that down. Now, what we're going to do to start today is we're just going to start with our basic windshield wipers, where we're going to lay flat on the ground, put our heels wide, and we're just going to rock side to side, pushing the knees out and down, like so. And just allowing that to open up. We're going to do that for a minute, just working that range of motion, allowing my hips to open up. Just like so. And right now, all we're trying to do is move the socket inside. We're just trying to like warm up all the tissue around the socket, getting fluid and blood flow and synovial fluid, you know, basically the body's WD-40 into those hips. Just allowing that to open up. We've got about 10 more seconds. All right, now we're going to bring our feet and knees together, just like so. And we're going to rock side to side. And we're just going to do that for a minute. Again, I'm not letting my feet and knees come apart, and I'm not letting them slide past each other. I'm just rocking side to side and opening up that region. Oh, got a pop. Sometimes you'll feel things click and pop. That's normal. Don't worry about that. We're just going to shift and shift. Shift. Shift, just like so. Now, for those of you guys that don't follow me on Instagram, I put a bunch of information up there like all of the time. So if you want extra information about nutrition, diet, ways that you can stay in shape without having to drive all the way to the gym and come back and do all that crap, you can follow me at RJS_HMM, Ryan Sullivan, and you know, just kind of tune in there for my general happenings. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to start with a hip flexor stretch, and our hip flexor stretch in this case is going to be where I'm going to start laying flat on my stomach, like so. And you know what? Grab a roller. I'm going to show you how to use the roller as a prop if you need to. Just have it nearby. So you'll start face down. You're going to pick up one knee to your side like so, and then you're going to post your elbows up, driving your chest up. If you want to know how to use the roller, you can tuck the roller in under your chest to help you stay up. And then from here, it's kind of tucked in between my elbows and my chest. From here, I'm just stretching this back leg. I'm just going to lay here and breathe deeply into my diaphragm for a minute and let that rear hip open, pushing down into the ground with my elbows and really keeping my chest up. The roller is helpful because it doesn't mean that I have to necessarily support myself entirely with my upper body. I can take some of the pressure off by placing the roller there. But I got to make sure that my chest stays up and proud and that I'm not slouching. And just a heads up, through this stuff, I listen to music all the time during these classes. I know they're silent. I'm not going to provide music because there's copyright issues with that, but you can always play music with it. I have desktop Spotify. You can play something off of YouTube. It doesn't matter. You're just trying to find a way to do additional work that you know, and find something you find soothing for these. Typically for the mobility days, you want it to be more soothing. All right, go ahead and take the roller out. I'm going to lower my chest back down. I'm going to slide that leg back, bring the other knee up, post my chest up, and I'm going to put the roller, again, back under my chest. And now I'm trying to, remember, I'm stretching the front of this hip. And I'm going to start there. Again, just breathing deeply and trying to let that hip open into the floor. Open into the floor. A big part of this is just being able to relax enough. After this round, I'm going to switch directions so you can see it from the opposite angle. But the main key here is that we're just letting it open. And we're trying to do this particularly when it comes to hip flexors, they're not really wired into your conscious brain, so you can't actually release them. You have to just very slowly allow them to release. And this is why controlling your breath is really important during this, just taking slow, deep diaphragm breaths. All right, now so I'm going to put this leg back. I'm going to take the roller out. I'm going to change directions. Now we're going to add a dynamic to this, and that dynamic is where I am going to lay flat, keep my chest up like so. I've got the roller tucked in. You can see the roller's tucked in underneath me. Stop. I'm going to pick my knee up. I'm going to have that back hip pushing into the ground. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look, keeping my chest up. I'm not going to look around this way by lowering myself. I'm going to keep my chest up. I'm going to turn and look at my knee. And what's going to happen is by side bending like that, it's going to cause my leg on the back side, not this one, but this one, that foot, that hip, I'm bending away from it. And by bending away from it, I'm pushing the hip flexor down into the ground. And that side bend is going to stretch it a little more. So for the next minute, I'm going to hold this position, and I'm going to turn and look at that knee, and then I'm going to come back. And then I'm going to turn and look at that knee, and I'm going to come back. And when I turn and look at the knee, I feel an increase in the stretch, and then return. I feel an increase in the stretch, and then I return. Increase in the stretch, and a return. And I'm just doing that to open up the front side of my hips. Now these hip flexors play a very large role for most people in back pain. And a lot of the time when people travel or drive or stay in a seat, this is the reason that standing up is difficult and the lower back gets sore. And so by simply releasing these once a day, it can make a huge difference in how much discomfort you have either in the front of your hips or in your lower back. It's not a cure necessarily, but it does make a big difference. All right, I'm going to straighten this leg out. I'm going to bring the other leg up. I'm going to keep the roller tucked into my chest like this so that way I don't have to hold myself up with just my upper body weight. And I'm going to try to really make sure that this back hip is projected down into the floor. Keeping my chest up, I'm going to relax that hip into the ground, turn and look at my hip. And we're going to do that for a minute. Just like so. Coming back to center, turning and looking at the knee. Coming back to center, turning and looking at the knee. Coming back to center, turning and looking at the knee. Coming back to center, just like so. And I'm just letting that hip open to the best of my ability. Now this is round 2 of the hip flexor opening. We're going to do a round 3 where we're going to take this movement and we're going to add a second piece to it. If you get to the point where these are just too uncomfortable for you, you can simply lay in the position with the knee up. And you get to choose how high the knee goes. So you really have to pay close attention to your own body and allow the appropriate range of motion. All right, now I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna lower my leg down. Ugh. I'm gonna bring that other knee up again. I'm gonna bring this hip. I'm gonna put the roller back in place. Now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna look at the knee. Now while I'm turning and look at the knee, I'm gonna raise my back heel and come back down. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're not gonna do this for time, we're gonna do this for reps. So we're gonna do 10 of these. So I'm gonna turn and look at my knee. You turn and look at your knee. You're gonna pull your heel up as high as you can. You're gonna feel an intense stretch in the front of the hip. Then it's gonna lower down and you're gonna come back to center. So you'll turn and look at the knee, pull your heel up, that's 2, set it down, turn and look at the center. Turn and look at your knee, pull your heel up, that's 3, lower down, come back and look at the center. Turn and look at your knee, number 4, pull your heel up, lower back down, come back to center. We're going to turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower back down, come back to the center. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower back down, come back to center. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower back down, come back to center. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower back down, come back to center. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower back down, come back to center. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, let the heel down, come back to center. Very good. Now we're going to switch to the other side. So I'm going to let this out. I'm going to go ahead and bring the other knee up. I'm going to start in this position on this side. I'm going to turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower back down, come back to center. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower back down, come back to center. That's 2. Turn and look at the knee, keeping my chest up, pull the heel up, lower back down, come back to center. That's 3. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower the heel down, come back to center. That's 4. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower back down, come back to center. That's 5. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower the heel down, come back to center. 6. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower the heel down, come back to center. 7. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower the heel down, come back to center. 8. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower the heel down, come back to center. 9. Turn and look at the knee, pull the heel up, lower the heel down, come back to center. 10. Very good. All right, now we're just going to go ahead and remove that foam roller. We're going to lower ourselves down, straightening our legs. Now in this position, I'm going to put my hands on the ground. I'm going to drive my chest up, squeezing my glutes, and allowing myself to really open the front of my hips for a moment. And I'm going to rock back slowly into child's pose. Then I'm going to come back forward, slowly, hanging down, squeezing my glutes, driving my hips forward, then rocking back, sitting back into child's pose. That's 2. Coming forward, squeezing glutes, rocking back. 3. Coming forward, squeezing glutes, rocking back. 4. We're just going nice and slow. Coming forward, squeezing glutes, rocking back. 5. Coming forward, squeezing glutes, rocking back, 6, coming forward, squeezing glutes, rocking back, 7, coming forward, squeezing glutes, rocking back, 8, coming forward, squeezing glutes, rocking forward, rocking back, 9, one more, coming forward, squeezing glutes, rocking back, 10. Very good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go find a spot near a wall, just like so. And I am going to start by having my legs in this kind of 90-90 position, okay? So I'm going to have one leg tucked in and the other one in front of me like this. I want to keep my chest as upright as possible. I'm going to try to lean over that front leg. Now, when I do this, what you can't see is what this arm is doing. So I'm going to adjust, I'm going to rotate. Now you're going to see this arm is going to stay posted on the, this arm is going to stay posted on the ground. So as I drive forward, it pushes me toward my shin. Okay, so this arm stays flat. I'm going to keep this straight, driving me forward. 1, and then I'm going to rock, turning my knees slightly. I'm in a little bit of a space here. I'm going to push in. 1. Then I'm going to turn, do the other side. 2, and you can join with me anytime here. 2, and we're just going nice and slow, trying to reach into the edge of that muscle. 3, coming back, driving from the front of the chest down to keep the back nice and flat. I'm not rounding my upper back to get down there. 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. Very good. All right, now what we're going to do is, the reason we're by the wall is we're going to go up to the wall where we can place our feet on the wall at roughly 90 degrees. So your hips can be closer, they can be further away, whatever it takes. For me, it doesn't take much because I'm very tight this way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to curl my butt up off the ground, cross my ankle over my knee, and lower back down until I feel, I'm going to show you on the other side, until I feel a stretch in my hip here. Okay? And we're going to hold that. We're just going to lay here and we're going to hold that for 1 minute. So start with your feet on the wall, curl your butt up, cross your ankle over your knee, and lower down until both hips are effectively flat on the ground. From here, you're just going to lay and breathe. If you want to, you can work this knee by wiggling it. You can wiggle it with your hand, or you can actively wiggle it with your muscle. But either way, what you're doing is you're just going to wiggle that knee. And if it wears out and you get exhausted, stop wiggling it. But you don't want your butt wiggling around. You're moving the knee, not your butt. It's important. We got 30 seconds to go. And we're just letting that open up. So both of these movements, we're working on the front and the back of the hip, are really important for lower back pain and hip pain. A lot of people seem to be having problems in these regions today, so I thought mobility would be best done this way. All right, go ahead and come up off of there, switch to the other side. We're going to change positions, exact same thing. I'm going to move that knee, okay? Go. Just like so. Apparently that muscle doesn't want to contract. Ugh. You can see my knee's higher on this one. This hip is tighter. It's historically tighter for me. And by the way, asymmetry in your hips, either in tension or in strength, typically lead to sacral or lower back pain issues. So kind of always trying to work at evening them up is really important for longevity and just general comfort. All right, bring that hip up. Lower the legs down. Whew. All right, now we're just going to rock back a little bit. We're going to go ahead and roll to our side, stand up, take a little walk around, and tell me how your hips and back are feeling. We're over by 2 minutes today, so good job. I hope this was helpful for your hips and back, and if you have any questions or any comments, you can leave them in the comment section below. And I will see you tomorrow for core and coordination.